And a great big hey howdy hey to all of my goofy goobers. Welcome back to Animanic Commentaries with Comic Auzi.
And TF.
And tonight we'll be watching the classic animated movie, The Great Mouse Detective.
Which would have been Basil of Baker Street, but someone wanted to be literal at the last minute.
Let's be fair, at least this literal title is more than one word.
Yeah.
We gotta give credit for that.
But the funny story about the title, because of the title change, somebody, and we don't know who, at Disney, put up this whole memo. It was like, okay, we're renaming all the Disney movies. Like Cinderella was the girl with the glass shoe. Or Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was 7 men taking a girl. Yes, and it became the 1980s equivalent of viral that ended up being a Jeopardy category.
That's pretty funny, but the thing is that, strangely enough, even though it wasn't a title change from its original version of the story, The Great Mouse Detective becoming Basil of Baker Street would basically be the reverse order. So Basil of Baker Street becoming Great Mouse Detective would, in reverse order, be Sleeping Beauty becoming Briar Rose or Princess Aurora.
No, I think that was like the girl who took a nap or something like that.
Yeah, but Sleeping Beauty isn't her name. Sleeping Beauty is, like The Great Mouse Detective, a description of her, you know?
But yeah, it was... because the book series it was based on was Basil of Baker Street.
That is true.
So I don't know why the name changed. I think Katzenberg had something to do with it.
I'll be honest, if that was Katzenberg's decision, then it was probably one of his better ones, because Basil of Baker Street, what are people going to assume about that? The Great Mouse Detective. Now there's a pithy title that people can latch onto.
I mean, a lot of people know what Baker Street is.
Sure, but I mean, like, when you do make animated movies where your target audience is families and their children primarily, then you need a pithy title that's going to get the kids interested and say, Mommy, Mommy, I want to go to that movie.
Yeah, although
if nothing else, Katzenberg was good at that.
This movie probably done better if they'd gone with a PG rating, especially with some of its content.
That is true. There is a little saucier content in this than you'd expect from your average mouse, little kids talking mouse movie. Unless you watch, like, the American Tail. There's a little bit of risque in that one.
What was with the 80s? It's like they couldn't decide what to rate stuff.
Yeah, honestly. It's mostly for the US titles. Yeah, that's a pretty good point, Victoria. This does tend to happen with a lot of, like, regional titles. Sometimes the title is different in other countries. Like, Pirates Band of Misfits, just as an example of, while we're talking about the title thing, was originally based on a book called Pirates in an Adventure with Scientists, which was the original title for even the movie overseas in England and Australia, where the book would have been popular. And of course you get minor things like the lines of dialogue in the movie where they change it from where the pirates disguise themselves. It's like, they wouldn't allow pirates at the science expo. and then the pirate captain is like, what the pirates? There's nobody here but us Girl Guides, and changes to Girl Scouts because Girl Guides is what they're called in.
Okay. I think we're getting a little off track from the movie we're actually watching.
That is true, but in that same sense, I think like a title change overseas is one of those things that just it's a thing. It's to make it like pithier to the audience who's familiar with the thing. But honestly, as far as the movie's concerned, I love it. I grew up on this movie and have always enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah, even as a little kid, I mean, it's definitely one of the more serious plots, I'd have to say, if you know what I mean. But
I definitely agree.
I mean, it's not a mature film, but the plot feels like it should be for adults. Like,
I think because it's one of the more thinky movies, like as most detective stories are. You try to solve it along with the detective, and the thing is, like most detective stories, this is a good mystery, which we will uncover as the movie uncovers it. So, if anyone knows,
we'll go into.
If anyone's familiar with the movie, please do not, please do not mention anything until it comes up.
Well, can we mention the great actor who's in this movie?
Yes, because he comes in about like 5 to 10 minutes into the movie, so yeah,
Yes.
we can definitely talk about him. Vincent
And
Price,
it's important because this was reportedly his favorite role.
which is just honestly such a delight, honestly. And you
Yes,
can hear
Vincent
him.
Price.
You can hear him smiling, saying how like a good chunk of these lines. That's how much fun he was having.
Yeah, Vincent Price loved this role. Part of the reason was because he got to sing twice.
Let's be fair. Like, how many Vincent Price singing roles? How many singing roles has Vincent Price gotten? It's kind of unfair because
I
he's
can't
a
really
good,
think outside of this one.
He's really good. Like, he's more of a speak singing style, but like he does it so freaking well. You know?
Yes. Underrated movie, underrated villain, just
Underrated
period.
overall. And I'd say
I really think they should have done a spin-off series of this, and they can because
They can.
because all the Sherlock craze here.
Yeah. And aside that fact, it's all, like, the Sherlock stuff is at least public domain, and Disney has, like, the film rights to Basil Baker Street, like, I mean, as long as they still retain them. And if that's the case,
They
then...
would have to replace the cast because most of them are not of this world anymore, but...
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Like, yeah, actually, a good lot of the cast.
At least the main ones are not of this world anymore.
Yeah, which is definitely a shame. Glenn Keane was the lead animator on Radigan, which I'm pretty sure will, I don't know if we'll see it in the end credits of this movie.
And this is John Musker and Ron Clements' first directing together, and they
were
will
they
be
directing together? I'm pretty sure it was one of them
Yes.
as a co-director to... Maybe there were 3 directors on this, is where I'm getting
No,
confused.
this is the first time they're working together, and before their big ones like The Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Princess and the Frog.
You skipped
and,
Hercules.
No, I did not skip. I was just thinking, and I'm missing one. Oh yeah, Treasure Planet.
And Moana.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That is the most recent endeavor. I wonder when they will turn again to do a directing thing, because it's like now they're kind of just at like a 10 or 5 year gap of like like a
Well, maybe maybe they just want to retire.
Movies. You know they do.
They've been at this for 30 years or so.
Ah yes, Bernie Mattinson. This is going to become a very interesting name as we go along, as a writer has brought up to us outside of streams. So this will be... I don't think you were there for that conversation, but we'll uncover that as we go along. This is going to be a delightful, short little movie. Everybody get your copy ready. There should not be a warning on Disney Plus. I didn't bother checking, but there's literally no racist
not
elements
any
in this movie.
cultural indiscrepancies, but there's some suggestive stuff.
No, but like they won't give a warning for that.
Yes. Oh, and one more thing. This movie has that one scene that changed the face of animation forever.
That is very true. And we'll get to that
Yep.
when we get to that. Now,
Uh-huh.
everyone get your copies ready. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Start sleuthing. I gotta turn up the volume a little bit.
Classic logo.
Yeah.
Speaking of underrated, this movie also has an underrated female character that nobody talks about.
That is true. Very similar to
maybe
Penny,
it's 'cause
but I
she's-
think she has a little
Maybe it's
more
because she's not
active
the main one. I don't
role.
know. Okay, so you know why he's called Basil, right?
I feel like I've heard before, but I'm not
He's
sure.
named after Basil Rathbone, who was very famous for playing Sherlock Holmes on the radio and some TV movies.
You know, I should.
We're actually going to hear archive footage from Basil Rathbone's radio show.
That's cool. And you know,
Alan Young.
Alan Young.
Rest
yeah,
in peace, dude.
God rest
That guy
his
kept-
soul.
Y'all know him as Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
You could hear it because he's using that Scottish accent.
I mean, it's his normal voice with a Scottish accent. That's kind of what happens.
It's hard to believe that Alan Young wasn't actually Scottish. He just does it so well.
it was really good. Yeah.
From the give no and dinna, that's really hard to pull off.
Also, this is some really nice animation. Ooh.
Ooh.
A hobbling figure.
Here's Candy
approaches.
Milo, who's done a whole lot of these kind of voices in the past.
Yes, but the
most
different
notable,
thing is, most different in this is that it's, as you can hear, it doesn't sound as deep because they're speeding him up, like Chip and Dale style.
Most notable voice I can think of is Sleeping Beauty. That
when he was the
evil
pig
minion.
demon, yeah.
Oh, the Kratos.
And theme park buffs will know him as the little bearded prisoner at the end of the Haunted Mansion. Jump scare!
That used to scare me as
Now,
a kid.
if that won't be the way to open a Disney movie, like, goddamn.
I know, and you know that little girl.
Great use of
watching
shadow
it from
there.
Yeah, this got me right into it because like this little girl, she's having a great birthday, and then suddenly, bam, her dad's taken.
Yeah.
In a way that would be most traumatic.
And unlike the false pretenses of, like, the advertising versus, you know, the tone of, like, the Fox and the Hound, we open up with a very light scene that turns very scary quick. And here's the triumphant music to introduce us to our great mouse detective. You know, in title only, not by name. And the voice talents of Vincent Price as Ratigan, Barry Ingman as Basil, and I couldn't get the others.
Candy Candido, sorry.
Candy Candido.
I said the name wrong. Why did I say Mil?
It's
And
Candy.
I forgot, Henry Mancini. You might know him as the Pink Panther music guy.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Directed
You're
by
right.
Musker Clements, Dave Minchner, and Bernie Mattinson, just as a writer said.
Look,
There's
they
four
were still
guys.
working together.
That's true.
And we're going to hear this guy in another Musker Clements movie.
Oh yeah, this narrator plays the Sultan.
It's Dawson.
Wait.
I love how they do that. I
Oh.
love how they do that. They show Watson, but then they show him.
Yep.
Yeah, so this...
I think
so
they have
this
a
is
whole
based
lot
on
of
a book
clever
series.
stuff like this.
I listened to the audiobook of the first book. It's a lot lighter than this movie makes it.
But actually, is that the same actor as the Sultan?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like that's a pretty distinct voice.
I mean, he even has the same kind of rotund mustache thing.
Yeah, which really is kind of funny because the actual actor has a little bit of has a pretty nice round face, but he's not that rotund, like legitly. He's
I
actually-
don't know. He just sounds like that soft, chubby guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got the
I
voice.
mean, soft by
he's
like
got-
kind, chubby guy. You
Yes,
know?
yes, I know what you mean. Also a testament to the range of characters he could play. Like, Dawson and the Sultan feel like different people.
Yeah. No, give
But-
Olivia credit. She was
Yeah.
like her father was abandoned, and she like goes out to try to find someone to help. Like most
Yeah.
kids would just stay at home cowering, you know?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we need. Yeah.
Yep.
So this article,
Yep.
and that's a reference to the first book, which was a case of missing twins.
Oh, God. I'm gonna cry. It didn't take long, did it?
Shows how like you just love Dawson immediately. That he's such a warm guy.
And you can see the way the eyes are drawn. We've moved away from Bluth's influence, and now the new guard is like having a big influence on the style and aesthetic, which is why this kind of vaguely resembles a lot of the '90s films. And I think Glenn Keane is also a big part of that with his design
like-
of Ratigan. We'll get there.
Yeah, here we
It's
go.
a great
Baker
design.
Street. And there's Sherlock Holmes up there.
Once again, it does the book
And they
do
really
these
model
parallels
model
too,
him
or-
after Basil Rathbone's silhouette there.
Now here's a question: did they intentionally did they intentionally do this in the book, or is the movie specifically making the parallels between Sherlock?
No,
and
they intentionally
Basil?
did this in the book. That yeah, he admired Sherlock Holmes and he modeled himself after him.
Huh. Yeah. Who's already made herself at home.
I'm just saying, our Dawson Watson, why he's always important to Sherlock Holmes, because he provides the warmth and the empathy.
Gotta love the magnifying glass thing where they're drawing the magnified behind. It's just... Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, there's one moment of cultural insensitivity, I just realized, but it's like for...
So insignificant that even Disney doesn't, like, give a warning on Disney Plus.
Well, maybe because it's supposed to be ridiculous. I don't know. We'll talk about it in
get
like
there
5 seconds.
Oh! I think I know exactly what you mean.
That!
It doesn't look all that bad. The mouth, the disguise isn't yellow, and the teeth aren't overemphasized. Like, give
that is what Sherlock Holmes would do.
Indeed.
Sherlock would get all that with the makeup.
Kind of forget that happens.
They really do have like this mouse version of Sherlock Holmes down pat. He's just
they got his like
really self-absorbed.
Yep. He's a genius, but he's like...
Yeah.
Even Basil has this nice arc throughout the movie, which we'll go over as we go along. Because
because he's got Watson, his relationship.
I love
character.
this. I love this where he's like just so casual with like just putting the bullet in and like also going over all the details. Just we're portraying character so clearly. Just how intelligent and ingenious he is. How much he notices even when it doesn't look like he's paying attention, he is.
And it's going after how Sherlock, what happened when Sherlock met Watson in A Study in Scarlet. It's like, yeah, you came from Afghanistan and all that. So yeah, it is inspiration from the Basil Baker Street's books, but the tone is a lot more like Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes.
I mean, let's be fair. I mean, if Basil Baker Street took influence from it, this basically would be Disney's version of Sherlock Holmes in a way, which is not unfair, honestly. I love the smug slyness. Just the voice performance is great. The animation is also stellar.
Yeah, rest in peace, dude. It's like he's dead. Yeah. Dawson's dead.
Radigan's dead.
Even Flanagan. Even
Flaversham is dead. Also,
I think actually he died pretty shortly after this. Yeah. Basil. I mean,
I think they're doing that same thing that I was mentioning, like with the cars in the like previous movies, where they have a physical model that they're filming on a white background and then they're Xeroxing it. Because it definitely looks like the exact same style as the Xerox
you're gonna see him play this violin the wrong way.
I mean, violins are never animated correctly. I mean, there's even YouTube videos and even channels dedicated to they never animate musical instruments correctly.
No, I mean, he's holding in the wrong way.
I think that still applies to the never animate correctly.
But then watch 5 seconds later.
Oh.
You see, he switched hands, and now he's sitting.
That's one of those things.
Yeah,
it's one of those
he does have
animation
some
things.
empathy.
He has some empathy, but like.
Now he's interested. That smile.
His enthusiasm.
Yes, because Sherlock Holmes isn't in it for the money. He's in it purely for the excitement of it all.
He's a bit of a... He's got like a... And I love how the painting smiles. That was definitely on purpose.
Yes.
Ratigan is kind of like Basil's Moriarty in a way, in that sense.
Exactly.
An
Even the
intellectual,
Napoleon of crime.
an intellectual equal.
Yes, but one went evil and one went good.
Yep.
I mean, Watson even said in the books that Sherlock Holmes could actually make the perfect criminal if he went down that route.
I mean, it's not untrue. I mean, like, his mastery of disguise and attention to detail.
If they ever made a
Yep.
spin-off of this, I'd love to see, like, Olivia being, like, the detective in training.
Yep. Also, in pointing out that there are songs in this movie, there's only, like, 3 off the top of my head, and, like, love the way they're animating this, like, robotic figure to really
Kind of
sell...
steampunkish kind of thing.
Not just steampunkish, but, like, selling its size and its mechanical nature. Like, it's tiny.
Oh, here he
It's
is.
so small.
Even his face
Yeah.
is kind of Vincent Price-ish.
Well, I mean, they did this whole shtick where they would record with cameras. They would film the actors, and the animators would sit in on the that bell. And look at this smugness.
This is why I love Flaversham. He just
Like-
did that.
He very nearly just, like, sacrifices himself for just not wanting to be involved in an evil plot.
Yeah.
One which he is clearly privy to.
That just appeared on the table. Oh, the way he says that.
Yeah. And then the simple way... Oh, God. And,
Just like, and...
just doesn't even need to say a damn thing.
And look at this face.
I don't know if you guys caught it, but the smear frame, like, or the multiples where he had like a multiple pupils as he. That's a great line. That is a beautiful line. But like the eyes, is just the pupil duplicates. It's a great way to have a character move super quickly, and we're gonna see a lot more of it as we go along.
Imagine he was like, you didn't specify which girl. I mean, he probably
He's
got it.
probably got the right idea.
I need to see somehow it should have ended out there where he got like a different girl.
He picked up the woman that we'll see later. Anyway. Yeah. God. And then also these guys have a lot of character. Hey, hello, Bill.
There's Bill. Yeah, well, all the smoking and drunkenness in here, and how did this not get a PG rating?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, I think it's like a holdover from, well, this is 86, the movie came out in, so it's a holdover from, like, the treatment of things like Peter Pan or 101 Dalmatians, where smoking and drinking aren't a problem as long as it's the villains.
I don't know, 101 Dalmatians, they had even the good guys.
Yes,
smoking.
even the good guys were smoking, but that was a different time.
Oh, here we go.
The best song in the movie.
And the way it's animated, too.
I think this is definitely... Oh, yeah, no, that is definitely unmistakably Glenn Keane in that last shot.
I mean,
You know, this room is a little pink, isn't it? He's a really good singer.
There's something really great about characters.
Love this
singing.
line coming up right here. Now that is a way to get across a character, right? The most horrible deed that one could commit that you can think of. And just sing so gleefully in a major key, mind you. Like, Radigan was singing in a minor key, then they modulate to a major key for the chorus line. And they're singing about drowning widows and orphans. It's beautiful, honestly.
Now that doll right there is modeled after the illustrations in the book.
That's adorable. Nice little aside.
Oh, this shit.
Ooh, the lighting.
And his
And the
voice
thing
changed.
is... Oh, I see. They were using, like, gel in front of the animation. Because I was like, did they have to, like, paint it specifically? And no, they just used a filter. Oh. If there was something you should never say. That was also probably Glenn Keane. That was very, very Glenn Keane-esque.
And you see how scared they are.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you know, this kind of speaks a lot to his character that they don't say. That, you know, he's trying. He is not this uncivilized, unwashed rat that he actually is.
Yeah.
Which explains so much.
It's like, he's good at pretending. That's the thing. He's good at... He's a horrible, horrible, uncivilized sewer rat.
Okay,
But he dresses...
And this is how you make a fluffy kitty terrifying.
Yep. And also just add to the also, the layers of fat and fur on this thing.
It's like they put a bow on it to make it look as fluffy and cute as possible, but it's evil!
Very eagle. And again... I mean, if you didn't believe he drowned those widows and orphans before, you'd probably believe it now.
Yeah, and you
Like,
don't even need to see the swallowing, you just see the reactions.
the reactions, the sound effect.
The fact that he's charmed this cat is...
He's got that cat trained very well. Give him that.
Yeah. And then you show that they're afraid of him too. But they played the, what is it? You know, like when the handle top thing on that cane.
Yeah. This is such... And the thing is, we know now just how uncivilized and cruel he can be while he tries to play the part of like an aristocratic person.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. We don't just divert just to meet Radigan. We already know what happened, and so they just give it... Yeah. He's trying to calm his nerves. It's medicinal. That is such a bold question, but we got an idea. We still just don't... What we still don't know, though...
That bat terrified me a lot as a kid.
I mean,
All the jump scares.
he's a fucked up little design. What an ugly little fellow, you know? Trailing through the mud there.
You know, Dawson is just kind of roped into all this.
Yep.
He just happens to find that because you're focused on the footprints.
And see, it's like he might have caught it eventually. And then Here he comes. He's got a good attention for detail, but sometimes...
I'll mess up the name sometimes, too.
Sometimes. Now, the thing is, he's not certain why he'd want a toy maker, but we know Flaversham's skills. We've seen the prototype that Ratigan was observing, but we still don't know exactly what his plan is.
So Toby is actually a bloodhound that Sherlock makes use of, and I believe he used him in the Sign of 4. So yeah, the dog is a character from the Sherlock Holmes stories. I always loved these little girls who went on these adventures. Islands are expensive. I get his anger. I mean, he's right. Like, he's right. It can be dangerous for kids. But shit comes on anyway. Okay, so the dialogue here is from. So that's Basil Rathbone right there.
It very much sounds like it.
Yeah, it's archival footage from, I believe, a 1940s radio show.
They cleaned it up real
Sherlock
nice.
Holmes.
I'll give them that.
Yeah. So
Like,
I believe that was from the Red-Headed League.
Yeah, I was gonna say like there was a lot of I felt like there was a lot of processing, of course pre-computer processing, in order to clean it up that well. But they did such a good job. It sounded very crisp.
He's like that uncle who tries to answer everything but doesn't know the answer.
He tries. And now we got pretty much the reverse of the kitty. The most adorable dog in the world. What a cutie. He's a good boy. He can smell the innocence. Look at that smile.
And also the crumpets.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, squad, it's not cats
tiny.
versus dogs. It's this cat versus this dog. It's a good boy versus a bad girl.
And it takes her like 5 seconds to charm this dog.
Yep. It's always the young ones. Love that. That's a clip in both animation and dialogue that was used a lot in the ads that I saw for this on the VHSs for, well,
yes,
later
me too.
movies.
Whatever, yes.
Miss Flamchester, Flaversham, whatever. Your father is as good as found.
Yep, I remember too.
No, that is some fun animation. Off we go to the human toy shop. No, see, I didn't see the VHS of the movie. I just saw VHSs where there were ads for the movie.
Yeah. So
I only
every
caught
time you
this
get a
when it was
Disney
on
movie, you got
DVD.
like five different ads for other Disney movies.
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear that they really sped up his voice.
Look at that little bad.
And we're still kind of wondering what the haze this is all about.
Not entirely certain. What uniforms does he have in the bag, aside from knowing that he just grabbed those tall black hats? We just not certain.
He's like, okay, I'll catch you.
To be fair, that was a bit of a jump for her to be able to make. And at least he sets her down politely.
He just, it's clear he's not too fond of kids, and that's why it's so funny.
At least for now.
Oh, but he's about to become a little fonder. Watch.
Yeah.
That's like the most sign of approval you'll get from him.
At least for now.
He's like, ha, right?
Why Toby hate Dawson?
I need a spin-off
wait.
where he trains her.
You know, Victoria, no detail gets left behind.
This is like IQ level, and this is like high IQ thinking here.
Because the thing is, he notices the details that it's on some kind of a hinge somehow. And that there's a way to open it as though it were a door. And our peg-legged friend would be able to fit something nicely in that hole.
Yeah. But I love how they... Because things I gotta remember about Watson/Dawson is that he is a smart guy, but he's not the kind that thinks outside of the box. He sees stuff that's...
Now the thing is, there are two things that... Ooh. That's a little unnerving. Just a little bit.
Yeah, there are a lot of moments in this toy shop that just freak me out. Like, you know,
it's
those
like the
porcelain dolls that would open their eyes when you stand them up?
Oh, yeah.
Those are freaky.
Like, this is like the dark version of, seeing Geppetto's shop at night. This is like the slightly unnerving side of that. Gotta love the background paintings of this, though, like the detail.
What was with the Victorian age and their creepy toys?
They weren't creepy at the time. They were kind of the bog standard of what was considered a
like all those clown dolls and
okay, a Jack-in-the-Box like that is intentional to like scare children into behaving or something. And that's like,
Olivia, why, Olivia?
And that little music box is a bit of an homage to the Firehouse 5, which was a musical group that the animators, put together way back in the day.
He was really trying not to shout there. He's like, please!
Like the Firehouse 5, we're like a band.
Yeah, I know. Firehouse 5.
So yeah.
+2, yeah.
+2. Yes. There he is again, the bastard.
He was...
This is also kind of
cute.
cute.
Was really... like, just because.
And here's something, like, a couple of things that Basil said toward the beginning. Peg leg and a crippled wing. And, of course, cat gut for the stitching. Victoria, I think that Toby is smelling the cat gut on the stitching.
Oh!
See, it's those things where it's like little details are not forgotten.
That's snide. Like, not by any child, either.
Love that hello. That's just one of those, ooh. Now he's putting together what a toy maker might be able to do for Ratigan. Perhaps.
And Dawson finds a list.
Yep.
Yeah, this is Basil's problem, that sometimes he'll be so hyper-focused on one thing, we won't notice something else.
He's a genius, but even genius can get caught up.
And that's why Holmes always needs a Watson.
I think at least one of these was from Geppetto's shop. No, not quite.
Okay, Olivia!
Olivia ought know better by now. Oh, there's Dumbo, though.
It's Dumbo.
That's a cute
It's
little
45.
aside.
Dumbo is apparently 45 pence.
What a little guy.
She is a child.
There we go again. It's like
fat in his jump scares.
Five Nights at Fidget's. And, yep. He's like, get out of the way, good man.
At that doll.
Here she comes. Again, we saw her at the front of the store, so oof. Oh, yeah, now that's really well. Now that's really well animated.
And freaky.
That might just be me, but that's reminding me of the fake training dummy from the Sword in the Stone when they were doing the jousting training.
Ugh.
Whoops. Oof.
I love how they do this chase scene. Like, make use of the environment.
Yeah. Like, let's not forget we're in a toy store and then they're having fun with it. This is kind of how you do a sequence like this. God, this is just a testament to how great the movie is. It's nice and slow and simple when they're solving the mystery, when they're solving and finding clues, and then you get good big chase sequences between the heroes and the villains. It's great. And this is like the first true chase. Love his little ditty there to himself.
Okay, and now while I will say Olivia is kidnapped, she's proved to be a very feisty prisoner.
But also note that Fidget is not gonna, you know, another one.
If I ever have kids, I'm only gonna get them one of those creepy baby dolls if they ask me for it.
Yeah.
And probably
And here
like trust
comes
a civilian.
Here comes the empathy here, cause
I mean, I get his anger at the same time.
yeah, she was literally a child who shouldn't have been along in the first place. And there's still
He doesn't. You
quite
can tell by
an-
his smile. He'll just.
there's still not quite an admittance of any wrong on his part. And again,
I mean,
there's
he,
that
I mean, he
smug
really didn't want her to come along in the first place.
Yep, there's that smug superiority coming into play, but one that works because he's a genius. It's like, I think you get to a certain level of intelligence and being a good person who helps people because you're empathetic to their plights. Not just sympathetic, but you empathize.
Right.
That you...
It's like, how long have you had that? Well, he tried to tell you. He tried to tell you.
Quickly now. Oh, it's got a face now! Okay, that endoskeleton is gonna be one of the enemies in Five Nights at Fidget's. Always theatrical. That whole Dracula
Yes,
holding out the
yeah.
cape thing, just beautiful.
Yay, Olivia. Retaliate whatever way you can.
She does not let up.
It's a Scottish blood in her.
Yes.
But it's true. They're stubborn. They're stubborn.
Yeah.
Ugh. This guy has no empathy.
Zero. And no sympathy either. I think the only one he would have sympathy for would be himself.
Now, he's a pure psychopath that is able to act charming.
Psychopath, sociopath.
He's not actually. He acts like he'll act sympathetic at times, but he doesn't really.
Homeopath, I don't know.
The thing is, psychopaths are able to act charming.
That's true.
Well, the real difference between a psychopath and a sociopath is that psychopaths are born that way, sociopaths become that way.
So was he born that way, or did he get raised that way?
Good question.
Honestly, him being a sewer rat who wants to be, like, considered as a mouse, and there's the one slip up. He got the girl, but...
I love the way he does this. Amoo.
I love
like,
that.
get to the
Through
point.
gritted teeth, you can hear that.
Oh, and here we go.
Okay, this is definitely Glenn Keane. These beautiful poses.
Yeah, you can tell he's really trying to hold his anger back.
Yep.
Because he knows that rat will come out.
Uh-huh.
And then 5 seconds.
Oh, God! I can't help but laugh, though. I mean, it is funny.
Like, oh yeah, you took it so well. He done not even looking.
He's not mad. He swears he's not mad. And then he got an idea. An awful idea.
Okay, let's play this to my advantage.
Felicia, you could stand to go on a
Then
diet.
next time we see him though, his ears are perfectly healed.
It's one of those Wile E. Coyote things. Where a character's injured only for as long as it needs to be funny. You know?
And the
Love
focus
that!
on the eyes.
That was great with the extra little pop in the
Considering
eyes.
they
just
do that
before
again
he
with
fades out.
Ursula later, the same directors.
Yep. Hmm.
The disgust at that.
Yep.
He's looking at all the details.
Every detail. He's getting closer to the idea.
Yeah, because this is why people love Sherlock Holmes. That, you know, the guy kind of seems annoying at times, but he's really good at what
and
he
he
does.
also seems like half the time, like, what exactly is he doing?
And that's why the stories are always told from Watson's perspective.
Because
if it was told from Sherlock Holmes' perspective, we'd get it right away.
Exactly, because he'd be telling us everything through his first-person
Come on.
POV.
All this seems unnecessary.
It's alchemy. You really want to question it? Or I guess chemistry, simply.
Sodium chloride, salt.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he sees the microscopic details, and Dawson sees. He sees the general stuff, you know, like salt water. Yeah. And here comes
three distinct details: seedy pub, cheap booze, on the waterfront near the sewer. Like, okay, that's four. That's
Salt
four
water.
details. That's four details.
salt water, so it has to be at the waterfront.
Yep.
Salt.
Yeah. So it's like a seedy pub, cheap whiskey, cheap booze.
Yeah, this is like one of the many different
On the
movies that made me want
waterfront
to be
near the sewer.
I
That's
really wanted to
four-
be a detective when I was like 7 years old, and this is one
Yeah.
of the movies that help with that. It's a disguise. I mean, he is a doctor who's used to the... He doesn't get it.
Now that's an octopus design, I'll give it that. The rat trap.
Well, we're gonna have more than a couple of movies. Octopi.
Yes, yes we are.
You saw what they did there, right? Like, she was flirting with
Yeah.
him, and then when he tried to flirt back, she punched him. Like, okay.
You may look, but don't touch, I guess.
But apparently she can touch.
Well, she punched him.
I mean, she was tickling his chin.
Maybe she knows his type too well. Maybe she's like that with all the customers, but this particular customer was just a little too.
Okay, her beauty mark just switched places twice. Until that low life ruffian.
That's the thing. It's like he's like the way he's acting all proper is like he's a cream puff. He wouldn't last 5 minutes in here if Basil wasn't there.
Oh yeah, he's only been with the most sophisticated of people.
Oh, and there's Candy Candino again as that mouse in particular. Now that's a good voice. See, those background mice are painted into the background.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you must do something like that. And the thing is, it works well in 2D animation to have someone stand perfectly still.
It's like, okay, we know what you want.
Alright. Alright.
And suddenly tomatoes are gone.
Probably put up a different curtain up in front of the other one.
Yeah, I can't believe I used to sing this song when I was like 4.
This song is definitely not the song for a 4-year-old. This is very burlesque. Yes, Mary, yes.
Yeah, it's a striptease, that's what it is.
Well, I'm making commentary, Victoria.
Okay, so... No wonder furries happened. I mean, look
As
at
if Robin Hood wasn't enough, this would definitely clinch it.
I think it was really the 80s where it started happening.
Probably. Because they got a little more... I mean, even look at that busty, like waitress here. Ooh, boy. Here they go. Get it? Because her skirt was blue.
Blues, not clothes.
Yeah, but her skirt was blue. Point that out. Like, they really set up this little burlesque show pretty well, not gonna lie.
Yeah, without it getting
for what it would be in, like, a
showing.
seedy bar, but also in a movie that kids can be present in the audience for.
Yeah, their excuse to keep it in. They're mice, not people.
Huh.
I thought they were just, singing, and, they like watching girls sing.
Yeah.
Because they're softies. I don't know. That's what I thought as a kid.
And there you go. How does it get a G rating? Because that's what the kids thought. I mean, they test screen. I mean, they test screen these things, and here we are.
Even the bat's watching.
Well, I mean, like,
I guess he's into mice.
yeah. He's certainly having a good time now.
Well,
I
Yeah.
definitely understand the exasperation.
I mean, you were a little late in warning him about the drug drink.
And there you go. That particular animation right there will basically ruin any furry's pants for the night.
And this is how bar fights begin. Misunderstanding.
Don't shoot the piano player, but you can try to punch him, I guess. To be fair, squad, she didn't think much of it at the time.
I never really noticed that the barman took out that club. Like he just had it ready.
He sobered up quick. Off they go. This is a bit of a harrowing situation, but not one that you can't slip away from.
Ugh.
The first, but not the last time we're gonna see our heroes escape through a trap door in a bar.
You know.
I mean, hey, he's getting into the song.
You'd think he's being careless with the humming, but
if you didn't pick up on
Should I
Radigan's
say
vibes
it?
from earlier, well, Radigan would love to see the look on Basil's poor face. And the thing is, he would have let Fidget in on this plan, because Fidget is not bad at following instructions. He's a really good, loyal henchman. Ow.
yeah, his mistake was just dropping that list.
Yes.
Which
A
happened when he was in the-
fortuitous, a happy accident, if you will. And there we are. Wait till we see the inside. It's actually kind of swanky.
What about to the sewer?
Yes, but again, there's always with the details. And how perfectly clever.
Yeah, Fidget's saying that all that on purpose because he knew they were following and he needed to keep them on
Yeah.
the trail. Ugh.
Oh boy. Love that. That's just like 2 more drawings. That is really funny. The way he closes that watch is just like, good God. Oh boy. This really is the Moriarty-Sherlock relationship here.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this is not imposter syndrome. They are actually laughing at him. He's not imagining it. They are all laughing at him. At him. Also, that reading of "I love it." Okay, no, that one might be funnier. That was great.
And this is why you fail, Radigan. You don't just outright kill them. You have to make a show of it. If you just fed him to the cat like usual.
Here's the thing, though. He can't just feed Basil to the cat. He's his greatest intellectual equal.
No.
He has to do him in a most special way. That's clearly how it goes.
Yes, but this is why the villains always lose. They have to make this so elaborate. And it always leads to their downfall. They have to gloat.
I think he definitely is owed of gloating, honestly. Because he really did pull one over on him from just a delightful accident. Just a little accident
Yes.
on Fidget's part. He really did manage to pull one over. Still not quite clear, but they're clearly sneaking into somewhere royal.
His gag just disappeared.
Yeah. Yep.
But there's still that one with the...
See, now they got it. Oh God.
You're one to talk. You're one to talk,
Oh,
dude.
sure, Radigan's fat, but he's also kind of built up a bit.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Second best song in the whole movie. This song is great. You don't hear the whole song, but it's great.
Oh, Vincent Price, you were a gem.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
Yeah, he just had so much fun with this.
Yeah.
That's what makes a great actor. Like,
Yeah.
you could be in movies that probably fall under the
Love the
radar and you
lyrics
just
right
still
now.
play it your best.
Got the subtitles on.
What
The
happened to her
lyrics are
hat?
great. He has.
Shine your rules away.
Absolutely love the harsh cut. Again, much like when we cut from like Basil's. I was about to say Sherlock. He really is like Sherlock. Like with Basil's
Here's our
narration
mouse,
about Radigan.
Victoria.
Yep. Not you, Victoria. The Queen Victoria.
Yeah. Well, now England is a king and a queen consort, I believe.
Yeah. She is a queen. Yes.
Remember, this is 19th century.
Yeah.
We still had colonialism.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
And this is what Basil is likely telling directly to Dawson right now. The robotic double made by Flaversham to replace the Queen.
And you know, nobody would be the wiser because no one really
would
was
guess?
familiar with animatronics.
Yes, who would perfectly guess that the technology of a music box would be responsible for, well, his true plan. Now, the voice
Really does sound
synthesizing is really great. The thing is that it's not out of the question to have that kind of voice synthesizing. And the reason is because something a little more robotic was used to create the Casey Jr. voice in Dumbo, where a woman would speak into this speaker box and go, "Ah, the board!" And it would, like, be, you know, mechanically roboticized to make it sound like
Yeah.
a train whistle.
And see, Olivia's still trying to escape.
She's She's making an effort.
You don't give up.
Never give up.
Okay, in the chat, who wants a spin-off where Olivia becomes the detective in training for Basil?
That would be amazing.
It'd be something akin to DuckTales a little bit.
It would be great if, like, she's going off to college to study law, and then, like, she gets caught up in another mystery and then decides to go into criminology instead and become Basil's apprentice.
That sounds cool, but I was thinking she'd still be a kid, you know, to appeal to the young audience.
I suppose.
Which I think is why Olivia was put in here, to appeal to the younger audience.
Pick up from where we left off, I suppose.
What if Radigan survived? I mean, because it's still got a book series to go off of. There's, like, his version of Irene Adler that's in the books.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. And now the gears has worked again.
The genius. The mad genius.
Yes, you can only show the colors when they're going crazy or angry.
Yep. And off we go.
So that's why we need Holmes needs a Watson. Trust me. You can trust him.
God, what a fucking genius, huh? And so perfectly to cut them up and to shake the room. But that probably would have happened anyway.
Up goes Olivia.
That probably would have happened anyway if the anvil was only responsible for that, you know?
He's like, and he means it. And he means it. Thank you. You took him out of the dark place.
Yep. Now that...
I love that moment where Dawson's like, wait, set up the trap? And you know, he hesitates for a second, but he's like, no, I trust Basil. He's a smart one.
It's like, he's been right so far. Even the synthesizing effect kind of sounds vaguely like the Casey Jr. or Main Street Electrical Parade effect. But just being filtered over the natural dialogue of the Queen's voice actor. And there she is. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Now, if people don't know what that means, it means that she's saying that they're married.
Oh,
because she's the one with the power, then he's the king consort.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Hey, I did call the Queen a fatty.
Yep.
Now there's the cartoony elements.
Yeah. It's the thing that animation does best. That barking came from 101 Dalmatians back there. Like Pongo.
You're right.
Oh, boy.
How would this have worked in the long run, I wonder?
The
Maybe
Queen is...
an accident for the animatronic Queen? I don't know.
I mean, that would be easy enough, right?
Someone would have bound to figure it out at some point.
Sure. But he'll cover his tracks when he gets to that point. But with the Queen dead, and him tyrannically subjugating everyone, what's anyone to do about it, huh? Kitty don't care. Kitty want to eat.
Here we go.
That cat
Does that sound like Lucifer's screech?
A little bit.
Lucifer's screech.
Oh yeah, from when Bruno attacked, and then she and Lucifer faked being attacked.
I know someone else who'd be making demands like this. Just saying.
This is brilliant.
That's the freak.
Love the shadow on the wall there.
I love how they do this.
This is brilliant.
Here we go.
We got him now. The queen's stepping up. That's great.
Yeah, you know, I just
Let's
love
give
how
it
Beth
away.
is milking this. Yeah. Yeah.
Love the destruction.
He had to make it dramatic. Yeah, we the people protest.
The people are loyal to the crown. Long live the queen of Mousedom. Well, I mean, the robot literally shed all the way down to its eyeballs and teeth like it's the fucking Cheshire Cat. So, and there's Kitty's comeuppance.
Yeah, these are definitely some stock cat screams they use a lot.
Yeah. I think there's stock cat screams that get used in a lot of cartoons. Ah, so at least my copy has fidget whistling. So, because there are some copies where the whistle from Fidget is missing.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
It's like an error. Like either the original theatrical cut didn't have the whistle, or it was a VHS transferring error of some sort. Like they were mixing the audio. Like,
and here's another Olivia's.
ooh.
This girl's fearless. You're the one who kidnapped her. Now deal with the consequences.
He's taking her for leverage, which is why he won't kill her.
I know,
Still.
but Olivia just fearlessly against this giant rat.
And give it up to the genius to figure out how to propel balloons without a
that's
propeller.
Why I always love this movie. Like, I wanted to
Look
be
at
Olivia. I wanted to be
zipping.
the one to go on adventures and solve mysteries.
I love this. We got the zipping balloon race, and it's just so delightful. That was probably a Glenn Keane. Okay, actually, there's an upcoming animation of Ratigan that I know for certain is Glenn Keane. I'll point it out when we get there. That was really nice, the way they were, like, moving the background around. Very effective. Very effective use of static images. That is Glenn Keane. Absolutely.
They just straight up.
Never
Now
forget.
that's interesting.
And
he
now-
has a pig leg and he can't fly. That poor bat's existence.
Poor Bat is going to drown.
Or if we did do a spin-off, what if Fidget somehow survived that?
I would
He
personally...
didn't see the impact.
I would personally enjoy that. But keep Ratigan dead.
Yeah.
Out of respect for...
Someone's got to be an adversary.
Not only out of respect for Vincent Price, but also because it makes it more interesting, you know?
Here we go. The moment that changed animation forever.
My friends, welcome to the first implementation of 3D graphics in a Disney animated feature.
Oh, well. It's just like that moment in the theater where you're like, oh my god, I can imagine it being in 1986, you said?
Yeah. And the thing is, it's not entirely CGI. Something you'll notice is that
The lighting on the
some
characters.
some of the gears, you'll notice, wait, why are their lines wobbling? That's because it's not fully CGI. It's CGI that's traced with ink and paint on celluloid. It's not CGI on its own being integrated. It's CGI basically being used for the animators to build off of.
They did
Like, you can
not
see
have to go this hard on this
like,
scene, but they did.
This is, well, I think they did. This is the moment the film has been building to. We have shown how intelligent they are. We have shown how they are. We have shown how they're like ingenious equals. And God, what we are revealing are Ratigan's true colors. Ultimately, he may be a genius and he may have the intelligence, but he is at his heart a horrible monster. This is, God, that animation of their hands reaching is so fucking tense. And then, and God, the warped perspective and the wide angles of like the tower from above, and it's like, it really makes them feel so small and so high up. God. Oh,
in that moment,
here he
animation
goes.
was like, oh, Dawson, my friend, I'm relieved. But then, okay, the lip syncing was off there because apparently the dialogue used to be different.
Probably similar to something from Beauty and the Beast. Like, they had a different line, but they replaced it. But they didn't change the animation. In Beauty and the Beast, they actually got a line that actually sounded like it would, and looked like it would replace the original dialogue. But I'll get there when we get there. This...
It really doesn't look like he's gonna win because he's such a lean boy.
No.
And he's huge.
He is... Yep.
Here we go, the final problem.
God.
And that just
and again, never forgetting anything. The crashed machine into the thing. Ratigan grabs him. And they snap off the end.
Yeah, but he just had to take the bell. Just like the falls.
Yep.
The final problem.
That's the thing. Basil makes a show of it. And what wins is brain versus brawn.
Uh-huh.
Never forget a detail like that. You never forget the bicycle pedals on the propeller.
Yeah!
What
Like, oh, God.
a goddamn genius.
Basil was legitimately scared for a second.
Like, for real, that is tense. It's tense. It's thrilling. It's the culmination of everything the film has built up. Queen honors detective.
So it was in June.
I mean, it is London. Very rainy and foggy all the time.
And then that bell disappears.
Just his trophy.
No, it disappeared from the shelf. Right.
I love how they don't even correct him this time. It's just, he's never gonna get it. He's just never gonna get it.
Just call her Olivia.
Yeah. No. Yep. Yep.
It wasn't lip sync there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, we had such fun together.
I do think this is supposed to be the Irene Adler, honestly.
I'm not sure, because Irene... I don't know, unless they change things around.
I mean, the thing is that...
There are quite a few women who do seek Sherlock Holmes out, so it can't be just strictly Irene Adler. Yes? Yes.
This would
Be
also
my
be,
partner.
and this thing, like, even if you left Olivia out, this would make a great TV series on its own. Just bring the Great Mouse Detective back. Just call it The Great Mouse Detective, Tales of Basil and Dawson. The cases of Basil and Dawson. God.
Well, if they were to have Ratigan back, it would have to be in flashbacks, you know?
Or alternatively, you save him for something as big, like as a season 1 to season 2 cliffhanger. That would be a great way to bring him back.
Yeah, like, I'd like to see flashbacks
Now-
of where Basil and Ratigan first butted
I am
heads.
curious if they added that line after changing the title. The story adapted by Ron Clements, John Musker, and Bernie Mattinson as well, based on Basil Baker Street book series by Eve Titus and Paul someone. Mark Henn, Glenn Keane, Rob Minkoff, the Lion King director. Character animators, Glenn Keane's name's got to be in here somewhere.
And he was already at the supervising animators.
Yeah, fair enough. Supervising on the characters and animating some of them, most likely.
I mean, that's a big job.
It is. Coloring stylist, the backgrounds. Oof, man. A lot more names
Yeah.
than we're typically used to seeing.
You know, Mark Dindal.
Mark Dindal as an effects animator. Mark Dindal. That name. Ah! Ah!
I believe. Wasn't he actually?
Key assistant animators Tony Anselmo at the top. Like Donald Duck Tony Anselmo? Or...
Yeah. I mean, he was active around this time.
Yeah.
Mark Dindal, directed, if I'm right, yep, Emperor's New Groove. And
That's
Cats Don't
right!
Dance.
And Chicken Little. And supposedly he's working on a new animated film. I really hope it comes out because, like, when it comes to things like Cats Don't Dance and Emperor's New Groove, which was entirely his, basically, Wayne Allen is one of the thugs.
There we go. Additional voice talents. They had Basil Rathbone as Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, we know Basil Rathbone. He was the narrator in Wind of the Willows and also Ratty.
And
that's
also
why
Ratty.
he resembled Sherlock Holmes.
And Basil Rathbone was the narrator in Winnie the Pooh, wasn't he? No.
No, that was Sebastian Cabot.
Ah, that's right, Sebastian
No, by
Cabot.
that time
right.
By that time I think Basil Rathbone had passed away.
Very unfortunate. And
Like I said, it's
my
all
God.
archival footage for the Sherlock and Watson.
No,
there.
squad, Mark Dindal isn't to blame. The movie went through production hell and executive producers made decisions like, no, more like Shrek.
You know, I like Chicken Little, but we'll talk about that when we get to the movie.
Yeah.
But
As far
back
as
to
this movie is concerned, my God, what an adventure.
yeah, I will see these adults on YouTube reacting to Disney movies they've never seen, and when they get to this one, they're like, "Wow, this is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be."
Exactly. It's like if those same people thought The Rescuers was dull but enjoyed something more akin to like friggin' what's a big epic? I guess Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This is kind of the middle point. You know, this is kind of the middle point. Actually, Pinocchio gets a little more epic. That's what this reminds me of. This reminds me of Pinocchio. The way it's slow and steady at some points, but then it gets scary, and it gets terrifying, and it gets tense, and the action, the chases, and the whole, and everything coming together in the end. It's just so well done, you know?
Yes, this is why I love anything that John
like I
Musker
said-
and Ron Clements work upon, because just the way their characters, love them so much, and how they all interact.
Doing these movies back to back, I'll actually point out when we get to those other movies about how details don't get forgotten, because that is some brilliant, like, continuity. Maybe not necessarily like in some animated bits, because errors will happen. You can make fun of it all you want, but errors will happen. Animators are only human. You have to draw all this shit. Ratigan hulking out, basically his Ace Attorney breakdown. Yes.
Yeah, you know, they keep having those Disney live-action remakes. Like, forget live-action remakes. Can we get, like, these animated spin-offs of these old movies that really deserve a spin-off?
Or even better, like, here's an alternative, right? Like, take something of a classic, like classic, Disney film, like that was a live action one, something that would be suited to animation. Like the Shaggy Dog, make that an animated movie, Inspire the designs from the opening of the Shaggy DA movie. Why not? Like, there's so much you could do in the realms of making, or Flubber, the great, the absent-minded professor. Turn that into an animated movie. That would be amazing.
Yeah, and now we're getting a Disney Junior spin-off of The Little Mermaid called Ariel.
After we already got one for, like, Alice's Bakery in Wonderland, so.
Yes, and so, like, another Little Mermaid TV series, though. The first one was so good.
The thing is, though...
I mean, sure, it's Disney Junior, appeal to the little ones, but, okay. Can we get spin-offs of these movies, please?
No, Mary, I don't think you want Basil of Baker Street's Tailspin, because Tailspin was just a far cry removed from Jungle Book. No, I think you want Basil of Baker Street's Aladdin the series. Aladdin the series would be a great template for a Basil of Baker Street cartoon. Because it's the other Arabian Nights tales, essentially, even if they aren't actually the Arabian Nights tales, in the same way that the other mysteries and cases and books would be. But
they got such a great starting point. They can either take inspiration from the Arthur Conan Doyle mysteries, they could take inspiration from the mysteries in the Basil Baker Street series.
They could take influence from both, and you'd have a whole season, maybe even 2 seasons. You would,
because
you'd have
like
so much
I said,
to work
Basil
with.
has an Irene Adler in the book series.
Yeah,
well, that's not her name, but she's like in that role of Irene Adler.
Because like none of their names are the actual names. It's Basil and Dawson. So yeah.
Yes, and if we get Ratigan at all, have us be flashbacks. I want to see the first time that Basil and Ratigan butted heads, and to have Basil kind of deal with that. Oh, yes, I defeated my rival, but now I don't have a mental challenge anymore. That's something we could do for like a season character arc.
That is true. We could do that nice little like episodic. Every episode is self-contained, but then we're still carrying over like the weight of like his, And that's the thing,
well,
writer.
Like
just save Ratigan's reveal just save Ratigan's reveal for like the end of a season as a cliffhanger.
I mean, he's a rat. He can swim.
That's true.
I mean, probably
the
impact probably would have been a much, but
yeah. So it would be interesting
if we don't see them actually impact. Can we be sure they died?
We can show like
Lucifer fell off from a height once, but we know he didn't die.
what would be brilliant as well. But I'll first I just want to I'll give the closing thoughts on the movie in a moment. But like what would be brilliant as well is if they brought back Ratigan, but with like swimmer's ear, right? So now he's partially deaf, and now that becomes a thing with him. Wouldn't that be fun to work with? Like,
oh gosh, but there's so many possibilities with this one.
I also think Bella is also correct. Water from that height would be like concrete.
You can do it too, because we had the DuckTales reboot, which had all those mystery and adventure elements.
That's true. That's true. We could do like we could take the templates of Rescue Rangers and the Aladdin TV series with the modern DuckTales and make a Basil of Baker Street series. We could do that.
Yes, Disney! I'm begging you.
I mean, they did a second 101 Dalmatians cartoon. Like, they made a new series, 101 Dalmatian Street. So it's not beyond them to go back to some of their classics.
Yeah.
Hell, you know what? Give me a mini-series, just 5, like, 45-minute animated episodes of an adaptation of more of the books of Black Cauldron. Why not? I think people would like that. There's an audience for it. It might not be the biggest audience, but there is an audience who would be willing to pay for it. And like, not just like, oh, let's have it on Disney Plus, and then we'll sell it as physical media, because that's how we make our money back, because these diehard fans will buy the shit out of it. It's like, don't make a surplus of copies, but just
Scribe is
do that.
asking, change one thing about this film, if we could. Honestly, the only things I'd change were some of those lip syncing and continuity errors.
Let's be fair, I personally would not necessarily touch those, because honestly, it's animation at Disney at the time when Katzenberg was getting in there, and these animated films are going to start coming out once every year. He's basically working them to the bone, so it's like...
Well, he asked, and like that's what I mean. Like, if that's the only thing I change, which is like the spelling a grammar mistake for a movie, you know what I mean?
I suppose, but
yes,
no.
No. Like,
If there was-
story-wise, character-wise, there's nothing I change about this.
If there
I just want more.
Yeah, I think in that case, if there were one thing that I would change in the whole movie, like if there were anything that I would change, to just be more. Let's add another layer to the mystery so that there's another clue to follow, or give us another moment with Ratigan just to really hit home how rotten he is, or just like, I don't know, like,
or you know what? Go for the PG rating. Go for the PG rating.
yeah,
That's what I'd say.
I suppose so. Like, another thing that they could have done, but didn't do because, well, traveling is a thing that always gets to the case. But like, I am actually having a hard time making an addendum to this movie. It is basically perfect. I can't think of a single thing I would change. Yeah, it's great.
It's just really a shame that it didn't do well as it should have. I mean, I think it made like a decent amount, at least. But
I think like much like with something like the
not like Little Mermaid success, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, any amount of success for this movie financially would be much like, you know, The Rescuers, probably mostly from overseas.
Let me actually see. What was the Great Mouse Detective
But ma'am,
box office?
well,
Okay, so yeah, made a gross of, at the time, $38.7 million across its original release.
with what as
And-
its budget?
I'm trying to find it. Trying to find it. I really am. Okay. Against a budget of over 14 million. So it at least made bank.
Yeah. And that alone is like, oh, it's not the big success, but we're doing a lot better than literally our last movie.
Yeah,
Which
though
was
it
only a
was
few years
surpassed
ago.
by An American Tale, and we know how successful that was.
Yes, as far as box office
That
goes,
broke
like,
records.
that pretty much smashed them completely and utterly.
Yeah.
So that was The Great Mouse Detective, aka Basil of Baker Street. Delightful movie. I kind of want to go back and watch it right away, like just watch it again, because that movie is so much fun. God. It's just
Though apparently,
so good.
like that, at least the inexpensive success after the Black Cauldron, it renewed Disney's confidence in the animation department. So,
And even more so in this more
it
light,
was what we needed
And
in
even-
order to get to the Renaissance.
and even more in this lighthearted tone with darker elements, which we will come back to next week with our next movie, which will be
You know what?
Oliver and Company.
I wouldn't consider Great Mouse Detective and Oliver and Company to be the Dark Age, but like the pre-Renaissance.
Yeah, but still in the grandiosity of sectioning off Disney eras, it still fills the bronze space because we're still polishing a bit. We're still polishing until we get to a new Renaissance.
Yeah, but these were like the two movies that helped us get into the Renaissance.
Indeed. But until next time, thank you all so much for joining us. And if you're viewing this after the fact, thanks for watching. Remember to take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. Good night, everybody!
so soon, and isn't it a shame?
Love it.
You know I had to.
Love it when I'm nasty.
Oh, God.